That first week blurred into a fever dream of excess I'd only glimpsed in movies. Brunch at Le Bernardin where waiters hovered like ghosts. His Amex black card flashing for vintage Bordeaux that made my head spin sweeter than the cocaine-laced afterparties he dragged me to in the meatpacking district. Alex was a force, all sharp suits and sharper wit. The kind of man who commanded boardrooms and bedrooms with the same effortless cruelty. "Tell me about you, Ryan," he'd say over candlelit dinners at his private club, his knee pressing mine under the table, sending sparks up my spine. I'd spin half-truths. The dead-end community college dropout gig slinging drinks at the Rusty Nail. The mom back in Dayton nursing a bottle after dad bailed. The string of faceless grinder hookups that left me hollower each time. He listened, chin propped on steepled fingers, eyes devouring me like I was the finest cut on the menu. "You're wasted here," he declared one night, after fucking me slow and deliberate against the marble island in his kitchen. The city skyline a glittering audience beyond the glass. My body still hummed from him. 6'3" of honed muscle, salt and pepper hair tousled just so. That faint scar along his jaw from some Ivy League fencing mishap he never elaborated on. I collapsed onto a barstool, legs jelly, stealing sips of his scotch while he zipped up, casual as if he'd just closed a merger. "Let me take care of you. Full-time." The offer hung there, velvet-gloved. $5,000 a month, plus the loft in Williamsburg he'd keep empty for me, wardrobe from Bergdorf's, and discretion in exchange for my time, my body, my undivided attention. No strings, he swore, but his smile said otherwise. Predatory, possessive, the smile of a man who collected art and lovers like tax write-offs. I signed on because fuck it, what was pride when rent was due and the fridge echoed? The money hit my account that afternoon. A zero-heavy bomb that silenced the gnawing in my gut. We fell into a rhythm. Mornings waking to his mouth on me, lazy and thorough. Afternoons shadowing him to power lunches where I'd sit silent. Arm candy and slim-fit chinos he picked out. Evenings were ours. Walks along the High Line at dusk, his hand low on my back, whispering filth that made my cheeks burn and my cock twitch. He was romantic in that old Hollywood way, quoting Kerouac over takeout dim sum, gifting me a vintage Polaroid camera to capture your wild side. I snapped him once, mid-laugh on his balcony, wind whipping his tie, and he framed it on his desk, right next to photos of stern-faced ancestors who'd built empires on steel and secrets. But cracks spiderwebbed early. His phone buzzed constantly. Late-night calls from associates, in hushed tones that left him pacing, scotch in hand, jaw clenched like he was chewing glass. Once, after a gala at the Met where he'd paraded me as his protégé, we stumbled into the penthouse, his bow-tie askew, my tux rumpled from stolen kisses in coat check. He pinned me to the wall, urgent and rough, nails digging crescents into my hips as he thrust like he was exorcising demons. "You're mine now," he gasped against my neck, not sweet, but branded. A claim that chilled the sweat on my skin. I shoved him back, half laughing, half spooked. "Whoa, easy, tiger. It's just sex." His eyes darkened, that scar twitching. "Is it? Or is it everything?" I brushed it off as post-orgasm bullshit, but sleep evaded me that night, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin. By week 3, the loft was mine in name only. His designer touches everywhere. Abstract nudes on the walls that mirrored my own body in ways too intimate. A smart lock that chimed his arrival before I heard the elevator. He started suggesting my schedule. "No more shifts at the bar? Darling, you're above that. Vetoing plans with old friends, they're beneath you now." I complied because the sex was electric, him worshipping my skin with lips and tongue until I begged, then flipping the script, binding my wrists with his silk ties while he edged me for hours, voice a low rumble of commands that blurred pain and pleasure. "Say it," he'd demand, buried deep, my name a prayer on his lips. "I'm yours." And God help me, in those moments I believed it. Thanksgiving loomed, a hollow holiday for a Midwestern orphan in the concrete jungle. Alex whisked me to his Hamptons estate instead. Acres of manicured dunes crashing against the Atlantic, a sprawling colonial where staff materialized like smoke. We roasted turkey in a kitchen bigger than my childhood home. His laughter booming as he basted it with bourbon, flour dusting his cashmere sweater. That night, fire crackling in the great room. He pulled me onto the rug, slow and tender, mapping every inch with reverent hands. "I never thought I'd find this," he confessed, our bodies slick and spent, his head on my chest. Vulnerability cracked his armor. Whispers of a loveless marriage ended in scandal. A son estranged in boarding school. The empire built on his father's ashes. I stroked his hair, heart swelling with something dangerous. Not lust, but love, raw and reckless. "You're not alone anymore," I murmured, and he clung tighter, as if I'd handed him his soul on a platter. But dawn brought the first fracture. His assistant, a waspish blonde named Victoria, arrived with a briefcase of NDAs. "Standard protocol," Mr. Voss insists. I signed without reading, too buzzed on mimosas and morning sex. But later, alone in the library, a leather-bound volume caught my eye. Voss Industries Annual Report. Flipping through glossy pages of mergers and acquisitions, I froze at the fine print, philanthropy arm funding youth outreach. But footnotes buried scandals. Lawsuits from ex-employees claiming coercion, harassment buried under settlements. Alex found me there, face ashen. "Curious kitten," he teased, plucking the book away. But his kiss that followed was fierce, almost punishing. And when he came, it was with my name snarled like a curse. That night, as waves thundered outside, doubt crept in. Was I his redemption, or just another asset to leverage? Winter deepened, snow blanketing the city in hush, and our bubble thickened. New Year's Eve, he rented out the top of the rock. Just us and a string quartet. Champagne flutes clinking as fireworks bloomed over Manhattan. He dropped to one knee, not with a ring, but a key fob to his private jet. "Come with me to Aspen. Permanently." My pulse roared louder than the bass drop from distant parties. Permanently? The word tasted like freedom and chains intertwined. I kissed him instead of answering, tongues tangling in the cold bite of wind, hands fumbling belts in the shadowed alcove. We fucked against the railing, city lights blurring into stars, his body shielding mine from the world below. Afterward, breathless and bruised, he traced my tattoo again. "This dove, it flies free. But what if it didn't want to?" I laughed it off, but the seed rooted. Friends, the few I'd clung to, like my bar buddy Marco with his endless sarcasm and safe harbor hugs, faded under Alex's subtle sabotage. Delayed texts, forgotten invites, his arm always possessive in photos I posted. One night, post-argument over my flirty DM to an old flame. Innocent nostalgia, I swore. He cornered me in the bedroom, eyes wild. "Do you know what I'd do for you? What I've done?" His voice cracked, hands trembling as he cupped my face. I softened, pulling him down, forgiving with my body what words couldn't touch. But as he slept, I scrolled his unlocked phone. Texts from Victoria. "He's stabilizing. The new one's pliable. Keep him close. Pliable. Like clay. Like me." By February, the sugar baby facade shattered in shards I couldn't reassemble. He proposed, not marriage, but partnership. Move into the penthouse full-time. Co-sign on his life. A collar disguised as commitment. The ring was platinum, engraved with coordinates to that alley where we'd met. Romantic, he called it. Ominous. My gut whispered. I said yes because love's a blindfold, and his was silk. But in the quiet hours, when he'd vanished to meetings reeking of bourbon and betrayal, I'd pace the loft, Polaroid in hand, snapping my reflection. Eyes hollower, smile forced. Who was Ryan Hayes anymore? The broke bartender with dreams of screenwriting, or Alex Voss's perfect possession? Spring thawed the city, cherry blossoms rioting pink along the FDR, but our frost lingered. Alex's world swallowed mine whole. Galas at Lincoln Center where I'd gnawed through speeches on ethical investing. His hand of vice on my thigh under starched linens. He thrived on the spotlight, charming senators and starlets with that disarming grin. But off stage, he'd deflate, seeking solace in my arms like a man starved. "You're my anchor," he'd breathe, after a particularly brutal board meeting where he'd crushed a rival's bid. Returning home hollow-eyed and hard, I'd soothe him with wine and whispers, letting him take me apart piece by piece. Gentle one night, feral the next, always leaving me marked, claimed. Yet the control tightened like a noose. My phone? Synced to his, for safety. My emails? Filtered through Victoria's assistance. Even my writing, a half-baked script about a drifter finding home in neon-lit nights, drew his critique. Too raw, darling. Polish it. Make it shine for me. I swallowed the resentment, because the highs eclipsed the lows. Stolen weekends in Napa, Him feeding me oysters on a yacht, laughing as gulls wheeled overhead. There, under California sun, he opened up. Boyhood summers on that same coast. Father a tyrant who'd beaten ambition into him with belts and boardroom drills. I swore I'd never be him, he said, voice thick, as we hiked vineyard trails, my hand in his. But power corrupts quietly. I squeezed back, heart aching for the boy beneath the mogul. You're better. With me, you are. That illusion cracked wide on a muggy June evening. Marco texted, rare, insistent. Coffee? Miss your dumb face. Heard you're playing house with the devil. I deleted it, guilt gnawing, but Alex saw the notification ghost on my lock screen. Dinner that night at Per Se was a minefield. Crystal clinking like accusations, his questions probing like scalpels. Who was it? Calm, too calm. I deflected with a joke, but his fork scraped porcelain, eyes icing over. Back home, he didn't yell worse, he withdrew, pouring scotch after scotch while I showered off the tension. When I emerged, towel-clad, he was on the couch, tie loosened, a manila folder splayed open like an autopsy. Sign this. His voice was lead. Inside, a contract, ironclad, non-disclosure on steroids. My life, our life, locked in legalese. No leaving without his approval, assets forfeited, even therapy sessions, his idea, for us, confidential to him. I laughed, disbelieving. What the fuck, Alex? This isn't love. It's a lease. He rose, towering, but his touch was featherlight on my arm. Seductive, sorrowful. It's protection. The world eats boys like you alive. I won't let it. We argued then, raw and real. Me hurling accusations of cage building, him countering with tales of ex-lovers who'd fled his orbit ruined. Because they couldn't handle the truth of me. It ended in bed, of course. Anger transmuting to urgency. His body a battlefield where apologies were etched in bites and bruises. I need you, he groaned, breaking inside me, tears salting my skin. All of you, forever. I signed at dawn, pen trembling, because forgiveness is a reflex when love's involved. But seeds of rebellion sprouted. I started journaling in a hidden app. Pages of doubt, dreams deferred. The way his touch now felt like ownership. And Marco? I met him in secret, that coffee shop in Bushwick, a neutral zone of vinyl booths and bitter brews. Dude, you're glowing, but it's jaundice, he quipped, eyeing the hickey peeking from my collar. I spilled it all, the glamour, the grip, and he leaned in, serious for once. Sugar turned sour fast. Getting out. His hug lingered, platonic anchor in the storm. But guilt shadowed me home. Alex's cologne still on my skin mingling with espresso steam. July 4th exploded in irony. Fireworks over the Hudson from his rooftop. Just us. Champagne chilling in silver buckets. He proposed a toast to our independence. But his eyes said dependence, fingers interlacing mine like links in a chain. We made love under the pyrotechnics. Slow, soul-deep, him whispering sonnets of devotion that coaxed my walls down. Marry me, he said after. Not the contract but the real thing. Ring box materializing from his pocket. Emerald-cut diamond, green as envy. My yes was a sob, joy and terror entwined. Because in his arms, I glimpsed eternity. But as confetti rained, my phone vibrated. Victoria. Prep for the prenup. He's all in. August heatwave baked the city into delirium, and so did we. Lazy days in the Hamptons again, this time with his inner circle. Lawyers in polos, socialites with Botox smiles, all orbiting Alex like planets to a sun. I played the part, charming and chaste, but whispers followed. Vasa's latest muse. How long till he discards? One tipsy heiress, Elena, pulled me aside during croquet on the lawn. Darling, he's collected us all. Beautiful wrecks he fixes, then breaks when we heal. Her laugh was shattered glass. Scars on her wrists told the rest. I confronted him that night, beach walk under moonlit surf. Am I just another project? Fix the poor queer kid. Make him shiny? He stopped, waves lapping our ankles, face crumpling. No, you're my salvation. Then he kissed me, salt and desperation. And we tumbled into the dunes, sand abrading skin as he proved his words with worship. Tongue tracing tattoos, fingers unlocking secrets I'd forgotten I had. But Elena's words festered. I dug deeper, Late nights when he'd crash from 12-hour days. Me slipping into his study. Emails to a private investigator. Backgrounds on potential liabilities. My name flagged early. Photos of me pre-Alex. Drunk at Pride. Arm around a twink. Laughing free. Notes. Vulnerable. Leverage. Family debt. Isolate. My stomach roiled. This wasn't romance, it was reconnaissance. Yet when he woke, bleary and begging for my mouth, I'd straddle him, silencing questions with moans, because breaking free meant breaking us. And God, I loved him. The way he'd hum show tunes in the shower, off-key and joyful. The orphan heart he hid behind boardroom bluster. Labor Day weekend. The storm hit, literal and lit. A nor'easter trapped us in the city, power flickering as thunder rattled windows. We hunkered in the penthouse, candles guttering. Him reading Hemingway aloud while I sketched storyboards for my script on his tablet. Intimacy peaked. Hours tangled, exploring edges we'd skirted. Him on his knees for me, vulnerable in submission. Me topping, drawing gasps that echoed my own power. I trust you, he murmured, post-climax glow. But trust? Mine eroded with each blackout revelation. In the dark, I found his journal. Leather-bound, entries in elegant script. Ryan stirs something dormant. Must bind him before he flies. Fly, like the dove. Panic-clawed. I slipped away at dawn, cab to Marco's walk-up in Queens. Run. Marco scoffed over greasy diner eggs. Rain sheeting the window. Or fight. Get proof. Then ghost. Empowered. I returned. Feigned normalcy. But planted seeds. Casual questions about his exes. Feigned interest in Voss Industries' dark side. He opened fractionally, sharing war stories of cutthroat climbs, but always circling back. You're safe with me. Always. September waned, leaves turning in Central Park, and I turned too, reconnecting covertly with my agent cousin in LA, pitching my script remotely. Alex noticed the glow, mistaking it for us. You're blooming, he said. Gifting a weekend in Paris. Eiffel Tower at midnight, crepes and confessions. There, in a left bank bistro, he knelt again. Marry me, Ryan. Be my forever. Tears pricked. I nodded, because love's a labyrinth, and I was lost in its heart. But October's chill brought the blade. A Voss gala at the plaza, black tie, A-listers swirling like sharks. I shone, arm on his, but Elena cornered me in the powder room. Check the ledgers, pretty boy. Your salvation funds half his empire on broken backs. Drunk on her venom, I hacked his laptop that night. Password my birthday, touchingly naive. Files spilled. Not just coercion, but blackmail. Ex-lovers silenced with payoffs. One suicide hushed as accident. My name in a draft will, sole beneficiary, provided compliance. Compliance. The word from the contract. Nausea hit. I fled to the balcony, rain mingling with sobs. He found me there, coat over my shoulders. What's wrong, love? His embrace was home, but now poisoned. I shattered then, words tumbling like broken glass. The files, the control, the soul theft masked as love. Alex's face drained of color, scar blanching white. It's not, he started, but I cut him, voice steel for the first time. It's everything. You scouted me like stock, Alex. I'm not your redemption arc. He staggered back, hand to his chest like I'd stabbed it. I was saving you. From the streets, from yourself. From a world that chews up dreamers like you. We screamed over the storm, him defending his protection, as love's fierce edge, me hurling back the truth. It was possession, a gilded cage for his loneliness. He grabbed my wrists, not violent but desperate, pulling me close. Don't leave. I can't. Without you. His kiss was salt water and sorrow, but I wrenched free, storming to the guest room, door locked against the man who'd unlocked my heart. Dawn broke gray, him asleep on the hall floor, suit rumpled, eyes red-rimmed, guilt twisted like a knife. I slipped past, cab to Marco's, crashing on his futon amid pizza boxes and queer-lit paperbacks. Days blurred. Radio silence from Alex, me pounding pavement for freelance gigs, barista shifts, script consultations via Zoom. Marco dragged me to a drag brunch in the village, Queen's lip-syncing Gaga while I nursed mimosas and wounds. Fuck him, Marco toasted. You're Ryan goddamn Hayes. Writer, survivor, hot piece not needing a sugar daddy's leash. His pep talk stuck, but nights brought dreams. Alex's laugh echoing empty lofts, his body a ghost haunting my sheets. Love didn't evaporate. It festered, sweet rot. A week in, the olive branch arrived. Not flowers, but my script. Printed, bound, notes in his elegant script. Brilliant. Publish it. For you, not us. Attached, a check, and signed. No strings. And a letter. I lied to protect what I feared losing. If freedom's your flight, I'll clip no wings. But know this, you own my soul, Ryan. Always. Tears blurred ink. I burned it in Marco's sink, but kept the script, querying agents with renewed fire. Responses trickled, rejections mostly. But one bite from an indie producer in Silver Lake. Voice sings queer truth. Let's talk. November whispered autumn's end. Leaves carpeting Washington Square where I'd once buskied bad poetry. Alex's absence echoed, no texts, no shadows. I thrived in fragments. Open mics at the bitter end, spilling verses about doves and devils. Hookups that fizzled fast, bodies lacking his depth. But on a crisp afternoon, fate or masochism drew me to the Met, wandering galleries like a ghost. There he was, across the Egyptian wing, profile sharp against sarcophagi, alone amid tourists. He turned, eyes locking shock, then softening, like seeing sunrise after eclipse. Ryan. My name a prayer. We didn't speak at first, words felt profane. Instead, we drifted, him murmuring art history, me absorbing his proximity like drought to rain. In the American wing, before Hopper's stark loneliness, he broke. I dismantled the contracts. The files gone. Therapy twice weekly. For me, his hand hovered near mine, not touching. I was broken, love. You mended what I couldn't see. Vulnerability cracked him open. Stories of his father's abuse. The marriage a merger gone toxic. Lovers as bandages over bullet wounds. You were different. You saw me. I swallowed lump in throat. And you saw a project. But yeah, I saw you too. The man under the mogul. We sat on a bench, shoulders brushing, silence a bridge. Friends, he ventured. I nodded, tentative. Start there. Reentry was glacial thaw. Coffee dates morphed to dinners. No penthouse, neutral turf like hole in the wall to carry us in East Village. He was chastened, gifting space. My own apartment hunt, funded but not forced. Sex, we danced around it. Charged glances, accidental touches igniting sparks, but held back, rebuilding on words not flesh. He shared his world sans chains. Board meetings as observer, me tagging along, voice valued in strategy sessions. Your outsider eye gold, he'd say, pride warming his gaze. I shared mine. Script revisions over late-night FaceTime, him brainstorming twists with genuine glee. Marco vetted him over beers. Eyes like a kicked puppy. Proceed with caution, but he's trying. Thanksgiving redux. Not Hampton's opulence, but my tiny Astoria rental. Turkey charred but heartfelt. Alex arrived with pies and his son. Ethan, 16, gangly and guarded, shipped from Swiss school on a whim. Awkward at first. Kids glare screaming replacement dad alert, but over Cards Against Humanity, Ethan cracked, quoting my script lines back at me. Queer drifter? Based on you. Snark masked curiosity. Alex watched, throat working, as we bonded over bad puns and worse burns. That night, post-feast, Ethan crashed on the couch. Alex and I stepped out to the fire escape, city hum below. Thank you, he whispered, forehead to mine. For this, for us. Our kiss was tentative, lips brushing, then deepening, a homecoming sans hunger. No rush to bed, just holding, breath sinking like heartbeats. December dusted snow on our fragile peace. The proposal lingered, unspoken. Ring tucked away, he said. Instead, holidays unfolded gently. Tree trimming in Rockefeller Center, his hand in mine amid crowds. No possession, just presence. But shadows loomed. Voss Industries scandal brewing. Whispers of embezzlement from a disgruntled exec. Alex braced, confiding late-night fears. If it crumbles, I lose everything. Including you. I cupped his face, scar rough under thumb. Build it back. With me. Solidarity bloomed. I rallied contacts, even Marco's shady uncle with legal chops, to preempt the storm. Christmas Eve, string lights twinkling in Washington Square Park. We skated, him wobbling like a CEO on ice, me hauling him upright, laughter pealing. Under the arch, snowflakes melting on lashes, he knelt again. No ring, but a vow. Partners, equals, no cages. I pulled him up, kissing fierce and free. Yes. New Year's dawned in his penthouse. Not mine, ours. Fireworks bursting as we finally surrendered. Bodies reuniting slow, exploratory, mapping scars and souls anew. Him inside me, eyes locked, no commands. Just us, equals in ecstasy. But January's bite brought the tempest. The scandal erupted, headlines screaming Voss empire in ruins. Coercion claims surface. Board ousted him. Feds circled. Elena, that viper, surfaced as whistleblower, her vendetta spilling our dirt. Not just business, but personal manipulations. Reporters hounded my door, twisting our story into tabloid sleaze. Mogul's toy boy or true love? Alex vanished into war rooms, emerging gaunt, but unbowed. Fight or fold? He asked one night, whiskey neat, my head on his lap. Fight, I said. For you. For us. The trial loomed, depositions, me testifying not as victim, but witness to his change. He sought help. He loves, deeply. Cross-exam painted me complicit. Sugar baby turned enabler. But my words rang true. Redemption's possible, even for devils. February verdict. Guilty on lesser counts, probation, empire gutted but soul intact. He emerged from courthouse steps, paparazzi flashing, straight to me. Hug crushing. I own nothing now, but you own me. Spring renewal mirrored ours. Script greenlit for Sundance, my name on the call sheet. Alex, reinventing as consultant, mentoring at-risk youth, his outreach arm reborn authentic. We married quiet. City Hall, Marco best man, Ethan ringbearer, vows exchanged on a bench overlooking the river where it had begun. Notives released, just us hands clasped, flying free. Yet humanity's arc bends, not breaks. Our happy ever after laced with hard-won wisdom. Summer found us in a modest brownstone in Brooklyn. His mine, ours, far from penthouse perch, roots digging deep into community soil. I wrote full-time, pages flowing like the Gowanus Canal at low tide. Stories of queer hearts navigating power's pitfalls. Alex beta reading with brutal honesty and boundless pride. He volunteered at a youth center in Bed-Stuy, coaching kids on resumes and resilience, his scar a badge of battles shared. They see me, not the headlines, he'd say, home late with chalk dust on slacks, collapsing into my arms. Our nights, a symphony of rediscovery. Lazy Sundays in bed, him tracing my tattoo with tongue, me pinning him down, laughter mingling with moans. No ownership, just equal parts fire and tenderness. Ethan visited often, thawing into a fixture. Sleepovers turning to college tours, him confiding crushes on baristas and boys. Dad's softer now, he'd admit over pizza. Because of you, Alex beamed, but shadows lingered. Therapy unearthed more. His father's suicide, buried young, the root of his control freakery. I feared loss so much, I manufactured it. He confessed one rain-lashed evening, curled on the couch. I held him through sobs, our love a bomb no empire could buy. Marco, full circle. Dinner parties where he'd roast Alex mercilessly. From sugar to soulmate, upgrade Voss. Toasts clinked, family forged in fire. Fall brought Sundance premiere. Park City snowglobed in indie fever, my film unspooling to gasps and tears. A drifter, hazel-eyed, tattooed, ensnared by a magnetic stranger. Love's cage cracking to flight. Alex in the audience, hand over mine. Pride radiating brighter than spotlights. Post-screening Q&A. A journo probed. Personal. I glanced at him, voice steady. Every scar, every sore. Reviews hailed it raw queer romance, American grit. And suddenly, offers flooded. Pilots, novels. A voice begging to be heard. But life's not script. Twists unbidden. Elena resurfaced. Not venom but vulnerability. Coffee in a Soho cafe, her eyes haunted. I envied you, Ryan. He broke me, but you broke the cycle. Turns out, her whistleblowing was catharsis, therapy fueled. now clean, advocating for survivors. We parted tentative allies, her story weaving into my next project. A doc on power's underbelly. Alex met her gaze unflinching. Forgive, she nodded, and in that, absolution. Winter's hush deepened our bond. Holidays hosting strays. Marco's latest flame, Ethan's dorm buddy, even Victoria, reformed and wry. New Year's, rooftop under stars, our brownstones modest flat. We renewed vows impromptu. Snowflakes confetti, laughter our liturgy. To souls unbound, Alex toasted, pulling me close. Fireworks popped distant. We made love slow on a blanket, city whispering approval. Yet the human vein runs bittersweet. Spring unearthed Alex's health scare. Routine check flagging a shadow on his lung. Echoes of his father's vice. Biopsies blurred days into dread. I paced our halls. Script forgotten. Marco smuggling coffee. Benign, praise God, just shadows. But it reframed us. Mortality's nudge, urging presence over possession. No more hoarding, he vowed post-clearance. Us hiking the Appalachian Trail. Blisters and beauty, his hand in mine over misty ridges. Just this, us now. By summer's end, our tale ripened. Book deal for my memoir/fiction hybrid. Cage Dove. Alex's forward, a love letter in prose. Launch at a queer bookstore in Chelsea. Rainbow lights, packed shelves. Readings drawing tears. Hugs from strangers who'd walked similar wires. Ethan, home from freshman year, proud as punch. Marco toasting. To Ryan, from broke to bespoke. Alex's eyes met mine across the crowd. Dark pools now clear, reflecting not ownership, but partnership. We ended where we began, that Brooklyn alley anniversary pilgrimage. Rain-slicked pavement, neon flickering same as fate's first night. He pressed me gentle against brick, kiss deepening with memory. I thought I wanted your soul, he murmured, forehead to mine. But you gave it freely, and took mine. Laughter bubbled mine, his ours. As we walked hand in clasp toward home, the city our witness. No empires toppled, no doves clipped. Just two men, flawed and fierce, choosing love daily. In America's gritty heart, where dreams scrape against despair, we flew. Not caged, but conjoined, souls soaring tandem into whatever dawn broke next. Epilogue whispers. Years on, Ethan weds his engineer beau in the Hamptons, irony's wink, us walking him down the aisle. My film's Oscar buzz, Alex's nonprofit thriving, youth saved from streets that once snared me. Marco, godfather to our adopted kid. A scrappy trans teen with a poet's fire. And us? Gray threading temples. Scars faded but stories etched. On quiet nights, his head on my chest, I traced that jawline scar, whispering, still mine. Always his reply, yours, free as the dove. In the end, love isn't ownership, it's release. And in releasing, we found forever.